what might be surprising, where you do take a backseat from looking at the grand scheme of things, but the way that you can still have a litmus test somewhat of it. Are they known? Are they playing in competitions regular enough where you can see it just on a flick of the finger on Twitter? I can't say much about the side in blue. Join the force, my eyes, certainly the favourite moving in here, and so far, surprise, they're playing a lot of defence as well too.
Yeah, Join the Force is a known name, especially if you watch the Benelux scene. All these players are from there, of course. They are known people. They are going to be the strongest suit as well. I agree with you on that side. I mean, I joined the Force going 4th, I believe. They are a strong team, but they have to be careful right here. But from knowing how they play, knowing how they've been, it's a team that likes to go for quick counterattacks like these, make things awkward, almost worked in their favor with a bit of a fake. Or a whiff, then he would probably say it's a whiff, but they're going to play from the backline. They're going to play from these counterattacks, Danny. They're going to make you go up, commit with 3 people, and then boom, goal in the other end.
Simple as that, really.
I wish it was that simple. Would have made my job a lot easier.
What, player, coach, or caster?
Coach.
Which 3? Okay, well, if it was also the same as the player, we'd be on the field, not here in the commentary booth. That would be certainly for sure. Here his stat moves down. And unfortunately, this is the up maybe that Spooks was somewhat alluding to, as Wesley runs all the way back here. And a bit of a strange 50 there. It's allowed this ball to repel back in the blue here as Wesley once more. Second follow through. And very much, other than that opening start here, it's been a pretty... Oh, that's dire. That's diabolical. Just get off the pitch. You don't deserve to be here.
Smashy, getting it past Owen, and then, yeah, the mistake happening in defense. Not what you like to see. Just no one there to go for it. No one ready for it. Really, really getting punished right there. Arctic Frenzy taking a deserved lead, I would say. They've really been the stronger team so far. The more aggressive team, the more offensive team. And maybe the more ready team for this game.
Hopefully so. As this ball moves down once more, Wesley will have options here, catches it. He knows he should be beating the defender. And Joe, I might owe a team an apology here, but this has been one of the most shakiest opening and arguably weak performance we've seen so far.
And that is the problem with Arctic Frenzy. That is the problem with these players. They make you shaky, Danny. They make things awkward. They make things so that you don't know what's going on. That's what I said before as well. Expect it to happen more during this matchup. Expect Join the Force, who like to play solidified, to maybe break apart a tiny bit. If there's anyone who can beat them, it's gonna be Arctic Frenzy. But it's still a long way to go, Danny. There's still more than 2 minutes on the clock. It's still only one goal.
Certainly so. If it is going to be unconventional, it will certainly pay off here. It's been a decent opening here, off the line save as well too. And Join the Force has been pushed further and further back here. You fancy the second one to come eventually through here. And Join the Force, the side that arguably the better known side, arguably should be better on paper. They have not had a shot here realistically in memory that has stunned us. Not a passing play that has broke the defence down, and that needs to change quite soon here.
Definitely, they haven't had any offensive pressure, and really where they normally expected to go for those counterattacks, they have been a bit weak, a bit uneventful really from Join the Force. Not what you like to see, not what you like to have if you are a player on their side. But they still are able to adapt. They still need some time maybe to get forward, but those demos are not going into your favor. Owen now, what can you do by yourself? And not much, because Lukabu just decides to take it as low as possible, going for the 50, just trying to be annoying at this moment.
I know that feeling far too well, Spooks.
What, being annoying?
Yeah.
By the way, what a shot from Lukabu. Getting a really annoyingly hard double right here, because with that flip, have to try and angle yourself still for a very hard position. It's a good shot to get on target. 2-0 lead for Arctic Frenzy. And honestly, Danny, if this is the way we're going to see this game go, I think we might be in for another sweep.
It is, however, not the side that I predicted. That's why I avoided also the prediction as well too, because when you don't know, when you have that element of surprise, it really can throw everything into a frenzy itself here.
Arctic Frenzy, maybe a bit of the dark horse for this tournament, for this entire bracket. They could maybe upset some people if you aren't careful, and they are trying to do it right here against Join the Force, but they still aren't there just yet. You still need to get past game 1. Yes, going your favor. Probably is in just for you. You can take it home, put it on a shelf as a trophy. Nice to see, but you still need to get to 3 games.
How is your trophy, by the way?
Oh, looking beautiful, Danny. Thank you for asking.
Well, we'll be certainly seeing that trophy in a few seconds' time here. It is 2-0 in this opening game, and the expectations that I had was low, but again, when you do come out and perform quite well, you certainly will have the fans onto your side here, and that's what Arctic Frenzy will be certainly hoping for. And let's just get past all the analyst talk. Let's just look at the trophy.
This what you wanted?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yep.
Okay, Danny's happy again. Join the Force, not so happy right now. Need to figure some stuff out, because quite honestly, they were not there. In offense especially, they just weren't there. Nothing really clicked, nothing got together. They didn't get any good shots on target that really made Arctic Frenzy panic. They need to get some stuff together. What really needs to change here, Danny, is I think maybe get some demos in. Be a bit more aggressive. Don't give Arctic Frenzy the time of day, because you saw it, 1 goal, and after that Arctic Frenzy was just in control for the entire game. Certainly
so, and also make like to draw maybe a parallel to our last series, especially from the upper side, where frankly the sides in blue, Dawn themselves, never really pushed forward. They never sat back. But again, this is a side here where we can't really make the comparison of both sides lacking the experience. They've obviously played with each other for a reasonable period of time. Yes, of course, not necessarily as long as the Paradise roster here. But why is Join the Force not playing a bit more rigid, clearly out of the blocks here? Because frankly, that was a performance there that you would just chalk up and say, this shouldn't be happening.
Perhaps, and maybe the players themselves are also scratching behind their ears, thinking, what went wrong? What do we need to change? What can go better? Now, maybe this is an opener you're looking for. Shot is a bit too high. Was looking for that top corner. But in the end, all you find is the crossbar.
I know that feeling too well, like, as well. Thanks for that, Spooks.
Huh?
Hitting the crossbar. That's the only thing I can be able to hit in this game.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but no, yeah, you're quite right. But right now, Arctic Frenzy, keeping your first offensive pressure going. We don't have to make everything about you, Danny. There's a game going on.
You're right, and it's been goalless for some time here. Other than that one shot at the crossbar, we've been fairly wondering where Join the Force has been, and I hate to say it, Spooks, they've dropped back. They've almost recessed somewhat. They did push forward. They did do it at the opening. The only problem is they've got to keep doing it for the full 5 minutes here.
Stayed. Looking to get a bit of progression on this ball, but Arctic Frenzy hasn't really been able to get onto the offense that well this time around. Smashing now. Hitting it hard, looking for that solo play, gets it past one, looking for a shot on target, but Wesley with the easy save, no problem at all. But Lukapu once again taking control, taking it easy, passing to the middle, not expected for one, but the second is there.
Well, it was a fabulous side here, just trying to get the pass around. I won't necessarily say the challenge was ideal here, but Wesley may have got a touch onto it, could have, arguably. Enjoying the Force. What are you doing?
Back to the drawing board, Danny. Simple as that. Back to the drawing board. Have to refigure some stuff out. Have to look at things once again. Because things aren't clicking. Things aren't going smoothly. Especially the progression onto the offense. This may be the breakout you really needed. But Wesley expecting the ball to go high. But instead it stays quite low. Ball back into the middle. Jinx can't get onto it quick enough. Stayed now in a good position. But loses control of the ball. The midfield player gets demoed what you needed. Wesley with the solo play. Maybe should have left it alone for Owen. But the offense, I was going to say, is going to keep on going. But eventually just dies down.
I wouldn't even say it just died down. It just was dead at instant touch there. It was still as a statue. There was no real movement there that you could have even proposed the question of what an attack was going to be formed from it here. It's all been going this direction, always planted against Join the Force here, and they were lucky to escape so far here without conceding a second.
One-way traffic on this highway right now. It's all leading to the Join the Force net. Can they change the tides? But it isn't looking likely, with Smashy getting a second of this game.
I wasn't ready for this tonight, Spooks.
Oh, you weren't ready for sweeps?
No, I was happy with sweeps. Not in this fashion, though.
Danny boy isn't happy so far. Something needs to change. But Danny, what then what needs to change? Give us
everything.
Tell us. Oh.
That's the first time you've ever asked. Oh.
Yeah, I was wondering what the old mind could think of, but much.
Well, I'm not saying. Where is the attacking? Where is the player where is finding the pass to? Where is this consistent pressure? There has been none of it. This flinging the ball right up here in the first goal, they've somewhat come from what down the middle when they've seen their opposition spread across here. Where is the attack? And this is meant to be Join the Force, who arguably in here, what, 2 years at this level in the bubble scene, has reasonably made a mark on it, and they've been shunned here to a side that, at least in my eyes, weren't as known, weren't as good, at least on by quality of paper here, and they've outplayed them. Why?
Again, playstyle differences. I think Join Your Force wants to take it too slow, wants to take it too passive, wants to take it too secure. While on the other hand, Arctic Frenzy, I mean, it's a team known for creating chaos. They recently have won weekly standings. They have been winning stuff, so Arctic Frenzy is just genuinely right now a team that is on fire, not looking to stop that momentum. One goal against them, it could deliver something for Join the Force, but they need to act quickly on it. You don't want to let it take all the way till the end, and a double commit, not what you need.
All time remaining to find the second goal here. If you're Join the Force, if you are supporting them, this is probably bleak view, and as that shot high it goes, it will be a second setup, mind you, and it could have been costly there, and it very much is costly here. And do you know what? I'm fed up. I'm done. Just put it 3-0 sweep and get it done with.
Ooh, Danny is not happy, but how can you be happy when once again Join the Force is their own biggest weakness at this moment? They're making it really easy for Arctic Frenzy to get past, to get these 50s, to get these things going for themselves. One up again, Owen taking it slow, looking for the pass into the middle, onto Wesley. It's a good counter-attack, and that is what Join the Force is known for. Finally showing a bit of their identity.
Maybe too little too late here in the second game. Had to lose my tether somewhat here, and the somewhat show up after it. You cannot be a side in the Benelux region to have a decent infrastructure setting up things here as the third one goes in, and you play at this level. You've been around for a while, you're meant to have the experience, you're meant to be able to adapt, and they showed nothing for 10 minutes. Nothing for 10 minutes. Join the Force, shake it up here. You've got to win this game to get yourself off the ground.
I think what's probably scariest, Danny, is how this one almost going in as well from the kickoff. Smashy has 8 shots on target. He scored 3 of them. He has been looking good, but 8 shots on target. He's been allowed to be just an offensive menace with right Wesley. The shot needs to be on target.
Of course it does. It's not going to go in if it isn't. Unless you're on SSA, maybe. It's one shot was near enough planted into the corner earlier today, and it somewhat slipped on in through what was only could be described as the funniest set of accidents that Domino Express could have put forth.
Lukaku, not trying to be funny, trying to finish it off right here. Not the thing that Arctic Frenzy really needed. A quick shot coming out from Wesley. testing the defense, but the defense holding on strong. And Stade hits it to the side, right in the hands of Wesley once again. Take it slow, take it under control, try to force maybe something. As Stade goes up, Smashy, awkward position, bump coming through, Jinx with the shot, but it's too weak. But the offense still going forward. That was the smart idea from Wesley, trying to maybe keep that pressure going. As the ball gets hit to the side, Join the Force finally really trying to force the envelope a tiny bit and keeping control of the possession. That is the biggest important factor right now for them.
Well, I haven't seen it for such a long time. It is refreshing at last here, and finally putting aside, especially likes of Smashy, who's been a menace as you described up front here in the defensive duty, asking the questions of him. Is he capable of feigning them in the difficult moments? It's easy to score 1, 2, 3 goals and your opposition not putting any pressure on you as Owen trying to feign that aforementioned word, but a counter straight down, no follow through. So this ball really much needs to go upfield as quickly as possible with control. Oh my words.
That was scary. That was scary from the Arctic Frenzy side. That's not what you like to see, and it seems that they're being a bit shaken up right now by Join the Force. Not really expecting them to even come back into this game, leave alone this series. And now they're being pushed back all the way to defense, non-stop, not really having any sniff of the other field at the moment. Arctic Frenzy is panicking right now. Not what you like to see. Maybe this is the breakout they needed as Owen hits it high. Beautiful pass forward. No one dared to make use of it, so Smash is still under control, but they have to be careful.
Well, Owen, he's missed that one. Talk about confusion, talk about stress, talk about panic. Both sides certainly feeling it now. 2 minutes deep into the second game where, realistically speaking, we should not be in OT. This should have been 2-0, match point, moving further into a potential sweep here as Smashy tries to lay that one off, cannot, however, reach the teammate who was waiting patiently for it, and still the banging there by Luki. No boost here for Owen, so he can't do anything. Eventually, we see that ball being tipped forward up.
Smashy hitting it high. Can't get it past Owen though, and the demo creates some space. Stade has to do it alone, but a good touch by Wesley. Owen now looking for another bump. Gets Lukapu to move, and Owen still blocking it off. If anyone has been slowly awakening over on Join the Force, it has been Owen. He's been more aggressive, more in the face of this Arctic Frenzy side, but still Arctic Frenzy holding on strong, getting some offensive pressure going. Owen with an awkward touch, demo in the middle, you have to be careful, but Smashy, that is a bit too weak.
Careful. Don't think we've really seen that so far here. It's hit and leather as a Rule 2 has occurred, so maybe the quality of the gameplay might step up a bit, knowing that 33% has been effectively ineffective there so far. We're approaching 4 minutes here, and Jinx, he's let that one touch. He hasn't been mentioned as much here, and Demo on the other side, and Join the Force will be certainly shaken in their boots.
It's a bit too easily given away by Jinx right there, and Smashy, I mean, he has almost 1,000 points, Danny. Smashy has been on top of this game.
And?
They are up 2-0. They come back from almost losing a game they should have won.
They didn't deserve to win it, losing 3-0 against a weak side. I'm sorry, but if I hype up the team somewhat here in the form of Join the Force books, they should be, coming up. They should be a bit better. They should be, showing a little bit of bite. Where's really the fight coming in this one? I haven't seen it.
The fight not really going forward for Join the Force, not looking like themselves just yet. Jinx in particular, not feeling well, not going too strong really. We just did get information that he may be feeling sick, not feeling the best, bit under the weather. That does affect your gameplay, but again, has to be given to Arctic Frenzy. You come in and you show yourself to a Danny that does not know you. It's a good way to show yourself and good way to let yourself get known. Now they just need to finish it off.
Well, certainly so. There is going to be a temporary delay to the start of Game 3 as one of the players is unfortunately apparently medically unwell at the moment, so he's going to be just checking if he is okay at the moment. and let me put this in the context as well too. If a player is unwell, and if they are not feeling right, please do not play the competition. Pull out, make sure the welfare is there. You need to be in your peak performance, you need to know that you're ready, and if you aren't, people are going to see this and not know this and judge you based on a very, and I'll be blunt here, a shocking performance here. If one of the players aren't well, get your sub or apologise to the admins and say, we can't play, we're unwell. Simple as that.
Nah. I have to disagree with you right there, Danny. I think that any player that is, even if they feel unwell, they're going to be playing. I think the biggest example is Arsenal on the world stage. You don't pull out, you keep going. You try the best of your capabilities, and I think that's what they are trying to do. That's what they're trying to show. And I think with a name of Join the Force, and with the name these players already have, I don't think you have to worry too much about a result of one thing. Especially not against a team that has been on the up and up in recent times. You may not know them, Danny, but anyone who has been following the bubble scene in the last couple of months has seen this Arctic Frenzy side.
Well, certainly so. And again, I make the argument, if you are struggling to find these players and you're trying to understand them, and if you're like me who's taken, what, 3-4 months away from the scene, relaxing somewhat and enjoying Paradise Island, if you want to describe it, without worrying about the bubble scene, do you know what? You might not see these players. And I would argue that the bubble scene isn't well enough to have these teams spotted. That's why I'm confused by Arctic
definitely.
Fox. And that is a different problem and a different statement. But we have got the match started. I disagree with Spooks' position, but the player has stated he's ready to get going. The problem is they've conceded.
The problem is Smashy is also ready to go. And this is maybe a tap-in, but he was the one who started this entire offense with his mechanical skill in the start. I feel sorry for Join the Force, of course not at their full caliber of what they're capable of, but Arctic Frenzy is showing something, and in particular Smashy. Smashy has been so impressive, Danny, and you may have not known him before, but I do hope you know his name now.
Well, we'll see. And people might say, I'm dumb, I'm silly, I don't know who these players are. With the greatest respects, if I'm struggling to know who you are, I've been in the scene 5 years, I do keep an eye occasionally on Wikipedia, on Twitter and that there. If I don't know them, that's up to them to make their name. That's up to them to make a statement. As Join the Force has tied up the game at 1-1, will they actually be able to perform this and get the sweep as well too?
Join the Force do be getting their goal in, making it 1-1, getting themselves tied up, looking better in that end. It's just important, they need to get that lead, something they haven't been able to do at all in the series. As Wesley progresses it forward, but Smashy blocking him off, meaning that the ball is back into the middle, but he can't do too much of it. Jinx blocking it off. But not the best touch, not what you like to see. Stayed. Setting it up into the middle, looking for a pass into the middle. Just no one there to help him out. Poor Stayed, all by himself. Sounds familiar, Danny?
Very much so. It's alright, Spooks. Somebody will be your friend, if you ask.
I'm gonna let you go on. Go on.
Well, while Spooks is searching a DM for a friend, will there be somebody in need here for Seed who has been alone once before here? Wesley, vital block here, and well, as everything's been going around here, it's been pretty much here stagnant since the second goal has eventually been scored in.
Stayed, putting it back into the middle, but no one there to follow it up, and that's a bit of a problem from Arctic Frenzy. I think after their overtime, after they lost their lead so easily, they may have been a bit more careful now with their second man, and that is something I don't want to see from them. You have to push your second man as aggressive as you normally do, because otherwise you're gonna give more room and space to Join the Force, and that is something you just don't want to do right now, as this ball is into the middle, Jinx hitting it away, it ends up in the hands of Owen. A quick shot should have been appearing, but it hits it to the side, just could not get the touch onto it, but Jinx keeps the pressure going. Smashing into the middle, Wesley blocking it off once again, ball in the hands of Owen, but no shot on target.
And that has maybe been a slight surprise here. You fancied maybe a shot that may have slipped on in there, but on the other end, Smashy, we had very much a performance as Spooks has highlighted the amount of shots, the amount of points, but again, join the force. They've allowed them to do that. They've allowed the attack here going forth, and second man there, Wesley, drop back, finally pushes for it. And again, it's something that we've been trying to keep an eye out from this entirety of the series. When will they push up? When will they risk it? They might not have a second go at it.
Wesley with good eyesight, looking for the ball high, and then gets the demo as well, trying to create the space. Something I hinted at before. I want to see a couple of demos coming out from Join the Force. Make it harder for Arctic Frenzy to trust in one another. But Smash is still getting the ball away. Wesley hitting it high, looking for the second touch himself. Does get it past Lookaboo, but Stayed is there, and he misses the ball. Something I did not expect from him. Opens up some space, but no shot on target.
Straight down, and Smashy's there. He hunts for the what could have been a potential chance here. Rowan starts it, and that's.
Do you want to say it, Danny?
No, I really don't. They don't deserve it tonight.
They don't deserve it tonight. You guys heard it here first. Maybe in the finals when you have Danny later on. Maybe it depends. Who knows? But for now, he will keep his special word behind the covers as Owen opens up the wind. Opens up the... How do I say this correctly, Danny? Opens up the curtains. Thank you. English is sometimes a hard language. What isn't hard is the shot from Owen. It is in the net.
I agree with you. English is hard.
Yeah. Why shouldn't we do it in Dutch? Come talk Dutch with me, Danny. Let's go.
Well, why not Gaelic?
Because no one knows that.
Nobody knows Dutch that well either.
More than Gaelic. But moving on. What we do know is Join the Force trying their best to prevent a sweep, and Smashy has been doing it the entire time. Of course he's the one to get Arctic Frenzy back into this.
No defenders as well. Very much slow to the response. And again, 2-2, we find ourselves in a situation, if you were in the last game here, Join the Force, mind you, had, do you know what, a position somewhat of a joyful attempt to get back into it. They did not deserve it, but they did score at least 3 goals to put them in that position here. They need a third one now, more than ever here, if they want to keep this run alive.
States getting a pass one, but not on target, sadly enough. It was a good attempt. Owen now with the control, but Stay, and that is annoying from him. He blocks it off once again. He's going back, but still trying to intercept. It is a hard thing to defend against, hard thing to deal with, as Owen now deals with the shot. Stay hits it high once again. The 10 seconds are on the clock. They're counting down. They're ticking away. And they can't go any quicker for Join the Force, who's struggling in defense. But maybe a breakout on the last second. Wesley with the control. Going high. Looking for the bump, but Stayed gets past the offender.
Well, there might be a frog in somebody's throat there. And it certainly also could be replicated into the both sides there, especially how it could be. Here's the man that could be potentially sattling through! And that there was a shot of beauty, but you have to give the pass in the first place the credit to set this one up. The defence tonight has been diabolical and should not be here at all.
You know, when that